I'm here with Coach Cubit for the Western Michigan Broncos head football coach, and today we're going to be talking about Jordan White and some of the successes that he's had on the field. And Coach, what are some of the things that Jordan does well on the field?
Well, the number one thing, he's a student of the game. He really loves football, and it's really important to him. And I think anybody who wants to be great, that's the first ingredient. And then the other one, he's got a lot of talent. He goes out there and he can catch the ball really well. He runs great routes, understands defenses, and he's a competitive guy. He wants to go out there and try to beat this guy every single time.
That's good. Now, you've been around him since he's been at Western Michigan, right? Since his first day on campus. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about his history and the recruiting process you went through? And
yeah, it was. He was offered by probably everybody else in the MAC, and he was a guy that we had a lot of interest in, of course, and brought him here and really liked him. His mother's a great human being. She's somebody that she raised him right, and so we went through the recruiting process, and we were really fortunate we got him. And as it turns out, he's been a great player for us.
Did he play other positions in high school, like on defense too, or just offense? Or?
No, he played a little running back, a little wide out. It was really kind of tough to evaluate, to be honest with you, because he played so many different positions on his high school team. They just tried to get him the ball as much as possible. So he was a guy that you had to project just a little. But once he got here and knowing his makeup and knowing how intelligent he was, you knew he was going to be a great player. And as soon as he stepped foot on the field, he was one of our best receivers.
I got to tell you that I've seen him practice, and he's got some of the best. He has some of the best hands I've ever seen, actually, at Western.
He really does. He's very strong with his hands. He's quick too, and I think sometimes guys can catch, but they don't know how to put the ball away and snatch the ball out there like he does. And that's what I think impresses a lot of the NFL guys too.
Oh, so he's like a Biletnikoff finalist, right?
He's a semifinalist right now, and I think we'd all be disappointed if he wasn't one of the finalists, especially with his numbers he has.
Now, he's had some successes, and he's had some injuries. Could you touch on that a little bit, as far as his ups and downs a little bit?
Yeah, he's had kind of an up and down career early in his career. For his first year, it was his third day. He went out there and he tore his ACL, and we all thought he was going to be a really good player for us the first year. And then 2 years later, he tore his other ACL. And those injuries aren't as traumatic they used to be, but still, that's a tough injury to come back from, and you got to really work hard. You got to have a lot of perseverance and a lot of pain. You got to go through, and he worked hard for it and came right back there and got himself in the condition that he's at.
Now, do you teach him one-on-one, or is the position coaches work with him, or do you both work with him, or how does that work?
Yeah, Coach Gaddis he deserves a lot of credit. Jordan's had a few wide-out coaches here, and he's adapted every one of them. And I think the system we put in place allows him to get into some spots that he can make a lot of plays. And I think between Coach Gaddis and Coach Ryan with the passing game, and then of course you need a quarterback that can get in the ball. And I think we got one of the better ones in the country.
How great is that to have people like Coach Gaddis and like Greg Jennings to help him along and give him advice and tell him what to do as far as making it to the next step?
Well, I think the main thing is I think you got to everybody needs guidance. I mean, we all do, and then, even when you get up in age, you still need people out there to kind of help you out in there. And I think that's one thing. I think all our coaches are tough on them too. It's not, though you don't coach them. Sometimes you have great players, you don't coach them because you want to coach the other kids. I mean, he's coached as hard as anybody else out here. How
instrumental has he been as far as winning goes at Western?
Yeah, a lot. He makes a lot of plays. And he's a guy that he's going to demand a lot of attention out there. And so I think that enables Caleb Ravenel and Robert Arnheim and Eric Monet and Josh Schaefer, those guys, where they could be part of the offense too. So, but he's I think the most important thing about it is he's really a great player, but he's actually a better person than he's a player.
What are the scouts telling you? I know they've been at practice from time to time. What are they telling you? Or are they just kind of looking at him, or?
Well, they don't say much. They don't want to ever let their hand. But when teams are sending 2 or 3 guys to practice, you have a pretty good idea that they got a lot of interest in him, and rightfully so. I mean, he's going to get a shot at it, and whatever he does with that shot, now it's all up there.
Yeah. So his final game is going to be November the 25th, right?
Yes.
how emotional do you think that's going to be? Because you've been with him for a long time, and he's been quite successful, and it's been an honor for us at Westen to watch him. Yeah. How great of a player has he been for you to teach an aspect?
Well, you enjoy all the players. I mean, you really do. And, senior day is really an emotional day for everybody, and especially for me, because you can go back to, I can remember the first time I met him and going into his house and going to checking it out with his mom and seeing everybody there. So it's a really emotional day for everybody. It's going to be real emotional because of what type of person he is. He's been great for this program. He's been great for this university, and he's been great for me because I've had an opportunity to be around him.
What's it been like watching him break the all-time receptions record?
Really, to be honest with you, I haven't put much thought into it, because you're so involved in trying to win and game plan and stuff like that. I think we'll all sit back after the season, probably look at those numbers, and those numbers they're going to be pretty hard to beat, because we had Greg, and when Greg left, I said that's going to be hard, and Jamarco, he beat him, but this one here, he's kind of set a new standard.
We were watching that record-breaking reception up in the booth there, and we were wondering did you tell Jordan that he was about to break the record, or did you just kind of get caught up in the game?
Yeah, I had no idea. To be honest with you, I don't even know what the records are. I know the season the yardage and the catches, but all those other records, I don't have a clue. It's after the season to see it.
After talking to Jordan about the records, he kind of contributes him breaking the record to his teammates, kind of setting the table so he can shine. So he seems like he's pretty humble and down to earth, and he doesn't like to talk about records very much. Is he kind of that way too in the team meetings and things like that?
Yeah, everywhere he goes. I mean, he's a credit to what you really want in a Bronco football player. He's unselfish. He works hard. He cares about his teammates. And, he's just a great human being. And like I said before, he's a better person than he's a football player.
I know a lot of us are waiting to see where he's going to go in the future and after college and stuff like that. So be sure to check Jordan White out on November 21st, or excuse me, November 25th. Is there a game time set for that? Or
right now it's 1 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. So check them out on November 25th at 1 o'clock. My thanks to Coach Cubit and Sports Information Director Matt Kanan, and look for Jordan White in the future.
Thank you.